Alright, in this video we're going to look at how we can use mates to align the different parts of whatever we are working on. So at this point you should have all the pieces of your design done. Okay, we're going to be making just like a little box of from these pieces. And you should have them all inserted, and you should be able to see kind of all the different sides of what you're making. So I usually kind of start from my fixed part and connect other things to them. A quick side note, you can change which one is fixed by right-clicking and then clicking on fixed here. Okay, you only want to have one part, and I would kind of suggest the bottom be your fixed part. That'll make things a little easier. Alright, then from there, we're going to use what are called mates. So mates take two things and have a connection between them somehow. So up in the assembly toolbar, there is the mate tool. And this whole section here talks about the different types of mates that you can have. And this is what two different things you have selected. You can select anything from the face of a block. Okay, so see when I click on it, that'll highlight it. And then it shows up over here. If you click on it again, that will unselect it and it disappears from over here. So you can select the face, you can do an edge, you can do just a single point. Okay, and any of those things can be mated with other faces, edges, or points. Going down the list here, these are the different types. You're not going to need to use all of these, but the coincident is when two things are going to connect. Okay, so if I do, let's say, this edge from the bottom to this edge, and I choose a coincident mate, and then click the green check mark here. Okay, that's going to make it so that this piece can move still, but those edges have to be aligned and connected. Okay, so I can't move it away from those edges being touching. Okay, so that's probably the most common type of mate, is connecting two things. All right, let's go back in the mate tool. Now we're gonna do this face to this face. Same thing, coincident. And then the last one, we're going to do this face underneath here to the top face of this. Alright, so by doing those three different mates, I made this block so that I can't move it at all. Okay, you see in the middle of my screen here, it says the selected component is fully defined. That's good. That's what you want your different parts to be. You want everything to be locked in place so that they can't move around at all. Alright, so on the left side here, these are the three mates that I just did. So if you mess something up or you click on something you didn't want to do, you just need to delete that and then redo it. So if I didn't want to do those two faces, I just come over here, select coincident 2, hit the delete key, and that will delete those, and then this part is no longer fixed in place like it was. Alright, so I'm going to redo that here. So for the rest of this video, I'm just going to show a couple more different types of mates in here. Some of them I'm not going to necessarily need for this, but they're just good to know. So this block is flipped around. Right, it needs to be flipped 180. So I'm going to start with a mate to do that. So I'm going to do this face here to this face. Okay, now you can see that it is the wrong way still. So if I clicked this in place, now this is backwards, and I can't really move it to fix it. So I'm going to delete that and redo that. So what you need to do is click on the alignment tool. So I'm going to click this face again, this face, and then this alignment tool right here will flip my piece around so that the right side is facing it. Okay, see how that flips it? So once I have it flipped the right way, then I can hit my green check mark, and that will be in the right place. Okay, and then I'm going to do this face to the top face. Check. Okay, so this is when the assembly can be a little bit confusing. Did you see how that moved way out far? When you're moving these pieces around by hand, it's really hard to tell where they're actually at. Right, because this looks like I'm moving it up and down, but I'm actually not. I'm moving it left and right. Okay, because we have that locked in, so the tricky part is just deciding which mates to do. So the only one I need left here is this side, and those will also be coincident. All right. Parallel is going to make two things parallel. So for example, the sides here, I need this face and this face to be parallel. Okay, so see how that moves that block so that now these two have to stay parallel. I can't rotate them all. And then if I do the underside to this side and do a coincident, see how it flips both of them together? Because those two things are now connected to each other, so they have to stay parallel. Okay, another one is a smart dimension. So if I do this face and this face again, instead of a coincident, I'm going to say these need to be a certain distance apart. Okay, so I can move them to be a specific distance. This one comes in very handy. You can flip the dimension there. So I know that these need to be 3 inches apart, so I can just type right in here 3 inches, and that's going to space them out correctly for me. Okay, the concentric one is for circles, tangent is for circles, so we're not going to deal with either one of those right now. And perpendicular is the same thing as parallel. It just makes two things perpendicular, obviously. Alright, so that was a quick video looking at all the different mating tools and how to get things lined up. So to finish this off, I would just have to go around and do the bottom to the bottom and the left edge to the right edge and finish connecting up all those pieces so that your end product has everything lined up with each other on all the edges.